I'll be deeply, deeply offended if you say that you prefer the thread kit one. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Many moons ago I created some DIY thread art using this little craft kit from House of Crafts. And I'll leave a link on the screen if you haven't seen that video and you might want to go watch it. But I wasn't overly impressed with the kit and I thought I could do a way better job just DIYing it and doing my own kind of thing. And Jules thought so too, so this video is for you, Jules. It's also for me, but it's for you too. So let's jump into it and make some DIY string art. So I decided for my DIY string art, I would use wood. So I just bought 4 pre-cut planks of pine wood and stuck them together with wood glue. And you want to make sure to wipe off any excess. You don't want any glue sticking out. And I repeated that for all 4 planks of wood. And usually I would clamp them together, but I don't have any clamps or anything like that in the studio, so I just left them how they were and prayed it wouldn't fall apart. So I waited a couple of days for the glue to dry, and fortunately it was still in one piece, so thumbs up to that. Fantastic. And I could have easily done this DIY string art just on plain solid wood and it would have looked nice, it would be fine. But I thought no. I wanted a little bit more colourful, a little bit more exciting. So I diluted some acrylic paint with some water and started to paint my wooden planks. One side yellow, one side blue. And then just let that dry. The next day I just used a pencil to mark out where I wanted the nails to be in this wood. And I used a pencil just in case I made any mistakes, I could rub them out later. And spoiler alert, I made mistakes. So I put multiple dots on this piece of wood, and if I'm honest, it was very difficult because I couldn't really envision what it was. I was tempted to draw the picture onto the wood and then kind of use the dots, but I don't know, I just didn't do that. Maybe I should have. So I was very confused at this point. But that didn't stop us. I got my hammer and nails and decided to hammer the nails into where the dots are on this piece of wood. And that part took me absolutely ages. And it was deafening. I couldn't hear a thing afterwards, it was so loud. And at one point, in true my style, I ended up hitting my finger with the hammer and gave myself a really bad blood blister. Nope. And gave myself a really bad nope, can't say that word. And gave myself a really bad blood blister. Which wasn't very nice, it wasn't pleasant. But I carried on and got the rest of the nails into the wood. And like I said, I made plenty of mistakes, so I went over some of the dots which I didn't end up using for whatever reason, and rubbed them out with an eraser. So that takes us up to present day, and I've got this contraption thing, and if I'm honest, I'm quite confused by it all. I don't know what's what, where things go, so I'm just hoping that it starts to take shape and it looks like what I had in my head. This could go wrong, this could look awful once I'm done. I really hope it doesn't because it's taken us ages to get this far. And if you have any idea what this is, then feel free to let me know right now in the comments. Let me know what you think this picture's going to be. And then if you're correct, you get a point. And if you did watch that thread art video that I did, I can already tell you that this part is far less fiddly than the other one, because it's on a much larger scale. I just hope my creation can beat theirs. That is the goal. I actually think mine is going to be quite interesting. I think it's going to look quite painterly, you know. I think it's going to look very geometric and very abstract. I hadn't intended it to be like that, but at the moment, while I'm doing this little tiny part, it's got a very kind of geometric shape to it, which I'm here for. I like it. I'm just hoping that the nails will support all the tension from the wool, because I know they're not hammered in particularly far, because I didn't want to go through my table. But we'll soon find out. We'll see what happens. Well, so far I'm up to here, and I have to say, I think my vision is gonna be a reality. I think it's gonna look quite good. It's almost looking exactly like what I had in my head. The interesting thing is as well, when you're doing kind of string art, you can take it different places, like the string in different locations, and create really different like patterns and stuff. I'm not quite sure what patterns I'm doing, but I have noticed when I do something like crossing over here, I can create like a little crisscross, which was quite nice. And I think that's going to add to this kind of abstract painting technique that I think I'm going for now. I'm just going for it. Yeah, and always make sure when you finish one piece, you tie it into a knot at the end, otherwise it'll all unravel, and we don't want that to happen. Yeah, and just looking at the other thread art that I did a while back, because I've still got it hanging on the studio wall, I'll show you, I'll do like a side-by-side at the end. But their colour choices didn't really seem to make any sense, really. Whereas I think if you do it yourself, you can really kind of layer different colours and make things look a little bit more three-dimensional. So that is one good thing about doing it yourself, I suppose. What am I doing? The more wool you attach, the harder it gets because it's just starting to slip off the nails. It's starting to drive me a little bit crazy. Yeah, surely you know what this is now. I'd be very shocked if no one knows what it is. In my mind, I can like tell what it is. So you should know too. It's looking exactly how I wanted it to look. Apart from this nail's thrown us off. The more I get into it, the harder it's becoming. I'm getting confused. There's also a spider right above us on the ceiling and it's freaking us out. I think it's looking really cool at the minute. My back is absolutely killing. Oh, I feel like I'm getting so old. I've just got that little tiny bit to do down at the bottom, which shouldn't take us too long. No rest for the wicked. We've got to keep going. We've got to keep stringing. Ah, there we go. We're done, I think, anyway. Okay, so here's my finished DIY string art in all of its glory. And if you're not sure what it is, I was feeling quite exotic, desperately in need for a holiday, so I did like a nice beachy, seaside, palm tree kind of moment. In the top left corner, that white blob is a cloud. You've got obviously the palm tree with the different coloured greens for the leaves. I did try to add some coconuts in, but there wasn't enough space. The nails were just far too big, so that's the part that I kind of rubbed out earlier on. And then in the bottom left corner is my attempt at a sandcastle, which I don't think really looks like a sandcastle. But other than that, I am pretty pleased with it. I think it's worked out quite well, and it's very similar to what I had originally in my mind. It's not far from it. And I'll put a side-by-side on the screen. So you've got my DIY version, and you've got that thread kit art thing that I did as well. And you can let me know in the comments which one you prefer. I'll be deeply offended if you say that you prefer the thread kit one. I think mine is far more substantial. But anyway, hopefully you did enjoy today's video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want me to try any other kind of craft projects or DIY projects or anything like that, then feel free to let me know in the comments down below. And I'm actually going to be recording another video today for Tuesday. So I'll see you on Tuesday instead of Friday. And hopefully it's going to be quite a tasty video. Nah. There's just something not right about it. We will see. It might be vile. We never know. But anyway, I'll see you when I see you. Bye!